Hola, comadres. Today's pep talk is brought to you by When You Don't Have Pep. I decided today, how am I going to help myself when I'm not really feeling what I need to do today? And so I thought, first up, I would put on one of my Heifas Run the World shirts. Heifas run things. I need to run myself today in a more effective and efficient way. And we're going to see how that goes. I'm going to need to have patience with my limitations, but one of the things that I've realized is that I have not been tuning in very well to my emotions. I know when I'm tired. I know when I'm exhausted. I know when I'm feeling just used up. Like my comadre Cheryl says, her grandma used to say, I'm just all give out. And that would be at the end of a long day or just a lot of challenging things going on. So yeah, sometimes I've been feeling that lately. I'm all give out. It's a combination of factors, but I'm asking myself, what are ways that I can be accepting of my current state and situation? Here I am doing this pep talk at my desk. I didn't even bother to go to the other room and get the tripod. So we're going to see how well I do at just trying to hold this up and not making y'all seasick. One of the books that one of my comadres, Rocio, recommended was Brene Brown's Atlas of the Heart. And the foundation of the book is that we have so many more emotions than we name, claim, or recognize. And so I ordered the book, and I think it's going to be a good process and a good journey. I've had a lot of ups and downs emotionally, as we all have. And I realize that my life is very often on the spectrum from anxiety to depression to all kinds of things in between. And then let's just layer that whole thing with ADHD and overwhelm and all of the things that life calls us to do. So I think it's time to pay more attention in terms of I've just been so tired lately, and I've just been COVID fatigue, adjustment to the medication. I have found myself, having to take naps and just feeling extra run down. And sometimes I wonder if am I physically run down or am I mentally and emotionally run down? And this weekend, or towards the end of the week, it became kind of clear to me that the background noise of depression, which I've lived with most of my life, was getting pretty loud. Sometimes the anxiety is the screaming Mimi that keeps my focus and attention. And I won't say that anxiety has moved out, because it has not. But I realized that the level of depression had been rising, and maybe that's one of the reasons why, I've gone back to more emotional eating and just sleeping so that I can turn off my brain. It doesn't mean that I'm specifically unhappy. It's just interesting, like depression, it's on a spectrum, and I don't think that it ever, quote, goes away or is necessarily in remission. I believe that we have a lot of coping techniques. Like we've heard people talk about high functioning anxiety and high functioning depression. And I've been at times with both where I feel like I was rather high functioning, and another time my functioning was on the lower end. And what I want to talk about today in the pep talk is just accepting where we are and figuring out what we need. I have just been tuned in so much in my life to helping other people with their situations, their challenges, and their emotions that I would often push mine aside. And in the quiet times, maybe when I can't sleep or when I'm just completely worn out, I have to start looking at that. Like, what is the atlas of my own heart? I'm very interested to start reading the book, maybe doing a Zoom group about that book. I know that I like to start a lot of things, and I always have all these ideas, but I'm looking at what idea is going to be something that is vital for me right now. You know, I see all these things I could do, and I'm drawn in all different directions. But when something comes back to the quiet moments over and over, it's time to pay attention to it. So I just ordered the book, and the interesting thing is yesterday we had a major rainstorm, and we've had terrible drought here, and it was just it came on fast kind of rainstorm, and it wasn't as bad as other parts of the country. I saw some awful scary things around Dallas. But it was interesting because I got caught in this real heavy rainstorm after work and coming down, in the neighborhood close to my house. And when I drove up to my house, the rain was pouring down super hard. I had an umbrella, but I looked on the porch and I realized, who did not have an umbrella? The Amazon box that was left on my porch. They had put the box on its side and it was looking quite soaking wet. And I have a porch overhang, but where they put it was not, it was basically in all the runoff area. And as I was getting out of the car, I was like, oh my gosh, I hope my book isn't ruined, because I knew that I had a children's book that I had ordered, a board game that I had ordered, and the Atlas of the Heart that I had ordered. And the box looked super wet. Well, we just got to keep going and work with whatever conditions are around us. And I was just so reminded of that as I was like wrangling with the umbrella and trying to go get that box and carrying my bag from school and some dinner that I had picked up. And I just realized that the truth about the box was that the box was wet. And it was up to me and to my own decision and my own perspective whether the book and the items inside were ruined. Oh yes, they could be wet, they could be messed up, but it's up to me to decide if the contents are ruined. And I think that's just true about every day, isn't it? It's up to me to decide if the contents of the day are ruined. There are things that are not going to go how I wanted them. There's definitely days and maybe even weeks and maybe even months when I'm not going to be living in the emotional climate that is most favorable for me. I know a lot of you feel like, oh, she's happy, she's got a lot of energy, she's got a lot of pep. And, those things are true, but I have the full spectrum of human emotions. And sometimes that helplessness, that feeling hopeless, that just, I'm so low, I can't function. Yeah, that comes to visit me too. And I was like, it's up to me what I make of what's inside that wet box. So, I got in the house, unlocked the house, I brought the box, I put it on the side the way it was, and I had to do a couple things really quick. And when I went to open the box just a few minutes later, I realized the box was so wet, I didn't need a scissors. I could actually just tear the box open. And the whole time, I had made a conscious decision that what was in that box was for me, whatever condition it was in. Because I had a choice, right? The perspective could have been, oh, that stupid driver. Didn't they know it was going to rain? Don't they look at that? No, I was just like, I ordered this. I paid for this. This is something that I wanted, and I will make the best of it. And I had the emotional capacity to do that in that moment. So I just tore the box from the outside. It was very easy because it was quite wet. And somehow, miraculously, the board game was perfectly fine. The children's book was perfectly fine. And so was Atlas of the Heart. I could have caused myself more upset by freaking out because the box was wet. Now, if I'd come home 30 minutes later, everything might have been soaked. It was just a matter of happenstance that the box was delivered when it was. I got home when I did. And I'm ready to use the resources that are available to me, although they might not come in the packaging that I expected. So like I'm always saying, life is either people we meet, experiences we have, they're either a blessing or a lesson. I feel like the package I got yesterday and the rain that we've so badly needed was a blessing and a lesson. It's okay to get wet. It's okay if things don't go how I think they should. The reality is what I'm going to make of it will be the long-term result. And, I'm not feeling on high power today. And you know what? That's okay. It's okay for me to be how I am. It's okay for me to be who I am. I can remind myself that I am a heifer in my own life. And there are things that I can do to help myself. And the biggest one has to be tuning in to how I feel. Knowing when I need to take a break. Knowing when I'm going to give emotional real estate to something that's not going how I want it to, or someone who's not acting how I want them to act. Oh my gosh, do you have those people in your life, in your family, in your workplace, in your home, in your mind? Yeah, I think we all have that rainy day in our head, and you know what? It's okay. The book, I listened to a short clip, and it said that there's 87 different emotions. Sometimes I feel like I'm feeling about 84 of them at once, and I want to become more emotionally competent and understanding what's going on in my mind, in my heart, not so I can fix myself, but so I can have compassion and understanding and a willingness to help myself and help others. Have a great day, comadres. Take care, and whatever today feels like, it's the today we have. And sometimes we're just going to have to sit there and go, yeah, this really sucks. I'm not all about that toxic positivity of look on the bright side. It could be worse. That is not helpful. Sometimes we just have to be where we are on our way to somewhere else. Take care, comadres. Love you.